Hello beautiful people, my name is Vendi and today I'm bringing you my Witchathon TBR. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Witchathon is a quarterly TBR hosted by my dear friend Rhiannon from the channel Crescent Moon Reads. Rhiannon is a practicing witch and they have sort of crafted the Witchathon to fall on 4 of the main 8, I believe, holidays. And as of this latest one that we are approaching now, the 2019 Samhain Witchathon, it will have been going on for about a year now, which I think is just really cool. So congrats Rhiannon for that. The prompts for each sort of seasonal Witchathon are really different. So without further ado, let me tell you what the prompts for this round of the Samhain Witchathon are and what books that I've chosen to read during the week of this Witchathon. I will preface this by saying that the way that my reading has been going, I doubt I'll get to every single book that I've chosen for these prompts, but a girl can dream. So for prompt number 1, it's Samhain is a time for honoring our ancestors. Read a book that has to do with your heritage. This is a carryover prompt from last year's, and it's one that I really enjoyed, and I'm sort of gutted that I didn't get to last year. This year I fully plan to do it, and I'm going to be reading Sisters of the Winter Wood by Rena Rossner. I don't know very much about this book except for that it has both Jewish rep and Eastern European rep, and those are 2 parts of my identity that I've not read much about, and I'm very excited to get to dive into one of my favorite genres, fantasy, and explore a little bit of my heritage in that way too. Prompt number 2 is that the veil between the world is at its thinnest during this part of the year. Read a book with ghosts or necromancy or communing with the dead, basically anything that sort of travels beyond that veil. For this prompt, I've chosen Victoria Schwab's The Near Witch. This is a reprint of Victoria Schwab's first ever novel, which I'm very excited to read because I've read and enjoyed some of her other work. And I've heard that there is a ghost in this book, despite the word witch being the thing in the title. So I hope that this will count for this prompt. In case there isn't a ghost and I'm wrong, I'm also reading, or I just read Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, and I'm planning on finishing The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater during this month as well, and there is definitely a ghost in there, so I've got the prompt covered at the very least. Prompt number 3 is that we're entering the darkest part of the year, so pick a book and read one, obviously, that is thematically dark. So back when I had a little less of a reading slump and I had a little more trust in my ability to just read a million books, I was going to read both Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is a series full of like anti-heroes and murder, and it's pretty dark thematically. That said, I'm not sure if I'll be able to handle all of that. So what I'm going to be doing for this prompt is finishing up Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and boy oh boy, I don't really think I need to say anything about the dark themes and topics that are tackled in this book because everyone and their mother, if they're on BookTube, has heard about it. In case I don't manage to get to The Near Witch, this also has ghosts in it, so this can knock out prompt number 2 as well. Prompt number 4 is Witches Often Make Offerings to God. Pick a book with a pantheon of deities, and for this, I'm choosing an old favorite that I read earlier this year but can't wait to reread so I can continue with the series, and that is The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner. What I really like about this book, besides how twisty the plot is and how I never see anything coming and how just charming the protagonist is that Megan Whalen Turner for this series has created an entire pantheon, and they kind of feature pretty heavily in this book, whether it's in human people's interactions with one another and the way they speak, or in the plot. And I'm not going to say much more than that in case you haven't read it, but I'm very excited to dive back into this one, and it's pretty short, so I should be able to get through it. Number 5 is that dancing around a bonfire is a Samhain tradition, so pick a book with fire on the cover. And in Sisters of the Winter Wood, there is a chimney that has smoke coming through it, so there's fire that's implied, and there's also a candle that isn't lit, but it will be. So I'm gonna count it because there's the potential for fire, and there's also like definite fire but hidden, so I'm gonna count that. And prompt number 6, which I'm sort of doing right now, is to post a pic or a video while in costume. I'm actually dressed currently as Queen Guinevere from Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy's Once and Future, which is a retelling of The Legend of King Arthur, but in space, and it's gay, and it's just, it's so delightful. And before any of y'all get on me for like historical accuracy or to the text accuracy, on page 80 of my, it's a lavender dress. Well, I've taken some liberties. So when we first meet Gwen, she's wearing a purple dress. I'm currently wearing a purple dress. and I don't have a crown, so I've got my little circlet going on. I don't care. I wanna be Queen Gwen so desperately. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I hope it's not a little too early to count this whole thing. I just don't know if I'll be able to dress up later, and I really like this challenge, so I wanted to do it now so that I could say I'd like tick that box off. And prompt number 7 for the Witchathon is to read the group book, which is Rhiannon's favorite book, and that is Gideon the Ninth by Tasman Ware. I don't currently own this book, and there's no chance in heck that my library hold will come in on time for me to be able to read it during the Witchathon. So what I'm gonna do is choose another book that I'm kind of reading because of Rhiannon, another book that is one of their favorites, and it's like pretty thematically relevant for the Halloween season, and that is The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. Yes, I know I'm like the last person in the world to read this book, but I am super excited to read it. Anyway, it's relatively short. I should be able to get through it. And that is it for my Witchathon TBR. Comment down below if you are participating in this round of it, or if now that I've brought it to your radar, you are interested in participating in future ones, because they're always a lot of fun, and I would like to just get as much action going Rhiannon's way during this time, because they put so much effort behind this, and it really means the world to me that it's blown up the way it did. And especially comment down below if you're going to be reading any of the books that I mentioned today, because I would love a buddy reader to kind of keep me accountable and keep me on track. That would be really useful. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up, and if you like me, maybe consider subscribing to this channel. I post bookish videos every weekend and the occasional bonus video like this throughout the week. I'm always looking to grow my little corner of the internet, so if you want to join me, that would be just absolutely swell. But until this coming weekend, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.